Good evening. Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, September 28th, 2017. I'm Keith Tebow. On tonight's show, we have an update on a mayoral candidate's plan to keep economic development efforts alive in Fall River, what Catholic school administrators are doing in terms of outreach, and we have information on a Veteran Services informational event coming up tomorrow. But first, let's check in the news headlines of the week. We bring in, as we do each week, Will Richmond, the digital news editor at the Herald News. Will, how are you?
I'm good, Keith. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Boy, this feels more like summer than fall. We're at the end of September and it's still 80 degrees, but we'll take it. Definitely take it. We'll be complaining about the weather very soon. Let's get right into it this week. Will, more headline news concerning the Fall River Rail Trail and plans by one of the local mill owners to extend its parking lot access, if you will, to Brayton Avenue. We've talked about this in the past where there was an easement issued by the Fall River City Council. A number of local residents came out about a week ago, approached Mayor Jazio Correa about that easement and said that it would impact the rail trail, and he basically came out, the mayor did last week, saying that it's not going to go forward if they didn't want it to go forward. Well, there's been some development this week. Basically, the mayor has come out with an agreement to postpone work on that easement and that extended driveway, if you will. Give us an update.
Yeah, so the mayor announced a couple hours before the city council meeting on Tuesday night that the city and the owners of the mill had reached an agreement on a cease and desist regarding the current easement, and that any plans for construction of that access road linking the mill site to Brayton Avenue would be suspended at this point. So, that seemed like good news for those who were trying to protect the Quequechan River Rail Trail, but they're not quite buying into that either. So this is an issue that I think, while the mayor is trying to get it sort of put to rest, maybe till at least the election is over, the residents and the proponents of the rail trail are not buying where this process is going.
And throughout this whole process, the mayor sent an order to the city council to approve of this easement. City council passed it, I believe it was either in February or March when they actually took the vote on this. In the meantime, you've got the owner of the mills, Cloverleaf Mills, which is the facility there off Father Duval's Boulevard, pretty much doing what it needed to do to get this easement move forward. How difficult could this be to overturn now? Have you looked into that?
Yeah, so in a conversation with some lawyers, their opinion was that if this easement has been filed with the Registry of Deeds, which it has, that essentially the company, the property owners could go forward with the project. There's nothing that could really stop them beyond the city once again trying to take the land by eminent domain, but there's a cost factor that would be associated with that. So that's why it took the steps of the city and the property owners reaching a mutual agreement to suspend any work on it, and sort of canceling out that easement, but really it was on the side of the property owners to go forward with any delays on that work. The city did not have much, it sounds like, based on the attorneys we spoke with, that could, the city did not have many avenues to stop in this otherwise.
So at least for now, probably, as you said, probably until after the election, we may hear more about this. And it was also brought up earlier this week as well at the city council meeting, where city councilors in effect are pushing this back onto Mayor Jazio Correa. Another aspect here of the council and the mayor, maybe a little bit of not seeing eye to eye on some of these things and pointing the blame at each other. So we'll have to see how this happens as we go forward. Second on our list, actually tonight, if you're watching this on Friday, this event may have already taken place on Thursday night. Those of you who have followed the comments made last Friday by President Donald Trump concerning the NFL and its players, we saw all the protests last weekend at various NFL games across the country. Well, there's a local Swansea man, Will, who tonight is still planning to move forward on a protest where he plans to burn some Patriots jerseys as he was offended, if you will, by those NFL players taking a knee last week. You have some follow-up today in the paper about how what this gentleman's planning on doing may actually not be permitted in the town of Swansea, correct?
Yeah, I mean, he can go forward with the protest itself, but the
Correct.
town's fire chief has warned that if he attempts to burn items such as jerseys like he had planned to, T-shirts, memorabilia, any of that kind of thing, he would be violating the town's rules for burning. Essentially, they only allow clean wood to be burned in these type of situations, or burned in public. So he has been warned that that could be he could face fines or other penalties if he goes forward with that burn-in aspect of it. So we'll wait to see how he handles it. But yeah, this is an event that has really grabbed a lot of attention in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts areas. It's been picked up by Boston News Media, Providence News Media, along with the local media here. So it could be quite the scene there in Swansea tonight.
Have you checked in at all with this individual about whether he's still willing to go through as of this late hour?
Yeah, we have not heard he has got any plans to suspend or postpone this. The police are taking actions. They announced early this afternoon that they're going to close down roads around the area of the man's house. So motorists, will be redirected from that area. So it sounds like this is going forward, and we'll have full coverage of it tonight on our website and in the paper tomorrow, regardless of whether it happens or doesn't.
All right, we'll have to just see. Next week is the beginning of October. That means that we're going to be picking up more interest in the local election races here in the city of Fall River. And I know that the Herald News has announced that there will be a mayoral forum coming up in mid-October. Give us some details.
Yeah, so we'll be kicking off the debate season, it seems, this year with Mayor Jazel Correa and City Council Vice President Linda Pereira. We're going to have them head-to-head in the first debate. There may be some other debate-like events going on soon. So, what we're looking forward to having them together on Thursday, October 19th. We'll be at 6 o'clock at the Matthew J. Cuss Middle School for everyone. We'd like to have as many people come out as possible. And of course, we're excited to have you guys and our friends over at Fall River Government Television helping us to broadcast this out to people's homes.
Yep, absolutely. And there will be plenty of other chances to meet the candidates. We here at FRC Media also extending our invitation. Candidates will be coming in next week to record 3-minute statements in the race for mayor, city council, and school committee. And we'll also have some details very soon about some forums that we will be sponsoring here at FRC Media involving the candidates for both school committee and city council. So stay tuned as we enter what will be a very busy month of October. All right, Will, what's coming up at the paper over the next few days?
Sure, we're getting geared up for the opening of Market Basket and some other stores down in the South Coast Marketplace. So we've got an interesting look at why Market Basket has such a cult following in Massachusetts, as well as some updates on the other stores in the shopping plaza and where that project is heading and how soon people will be shopping there.
All right, Will, thanks for joining us again. We'll talk next week.
All right, have a good weekend, Keith.
We'll have more FRC Media news right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Human Resource Assistant. Catholic Memorial Home, located at 2446 Highland Avenue, is looking for a part-time, experienced human resource assistant to assist with all aspects of the Human Resources Department. Reliability, the ability to work independently, good communication skills, computer knowledge, and excellent organizational skills are required. Job number 9582283. Professional Security Officer. Allied Universal Services is in need of a part-time professional security officer responsible for the safety and security of a corporate facility in the Fall River area. Job number 9589087. emergency medical physician. St. Anne's Hospital, located at 795 Middle Street, is looking for a full-time emergency medical physician to join their team. Must be board certified and or board eligible in emergency medicine. Job number 958-6608. 110 Grill, located at 560 William S. Canning Boulevard, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. Hostess, job number 958-2416. Bartenders, job number 958-2418. Kitchen staff, job number 958-2429. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions for the 2017 and 2018 school year. Office paraprofessional, job number 958-6226. Psychologist, job number 957-4365. For more information on these or other positions, visit FRCmedianews.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. A 5-point economic development plan for the city of Fall River was unveiled this week by mayoral candidate City Councilor Linda Pereira. During a news conference at the South Coast Marketplace in the city's South End, Pereira said she would keep the Fall River Office of Economic Development intact. Her reasoning is because the nonprofit agency's excellent record of technical support and business development savvy over the last 30 years.
I think it is bringing FROED back to where it was, but working more coordinated with FROED and having a council that's comprised of people in this community that can help with the economic development. There's got to be cooperation, there's got to be communication, and that hasn't happened. We need to make that happen. We all want jobs, and we all want to create the economic development of Fall River.
Now, you're in favor of FROED staying in business, so to speak. Can you just explain your thought process?
Well, my thought process is that FROED has had successes. Look at Amazon coming in. Look at what's behind you here at South Coast Marketplace. FROED has had successes. I'm not taking politics and personality into the mix. I don't do that. I look at the numbers, and the numbers show that FROED has been successful. They are a volunteer board comprised of business people, bankers, and most of all, these business people who, that's what they do. They create jobs. Politicians don't create jobs. There needs to be coordination, communication, and they need to work closer with the city, and I think an economic development council, and my 5-point plan indicates that. We all need to be on the same page with economic development.
And just one other thing then. So you don't think that economic development should necessarily be tied in as a city department?
It cannot be tied in as a city department. There are reasons that it can't be tied in. Because one, you don't want politics involved in it, and they're an unpaid board. Why would I hire somebody to do an additional job and people don't know where to go? Why would I do that? If I'm going to hire anybody, it's going to be a police officer or a firefighter.
Meanwhile, incumbent Mayor Jesio Correa is in the process of replacing FROED with a city-run economic development department. As of the new fiscal year beginning July 1st, Correa is holding back $300,000 in community development block grant money awarded each year to FROED. He also has ousted the nonprofit agency from its offices at Government Center due to back rent owed the city. FROED works in close collaboration with the Fall River Redevelopment Authority, whose volunteer members recently voted to keep FROED in its current role as a leader of its economic development efforts. The Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development recently released its local unemployment figures. Those statistics show that Fall River had a 6% unemployment rate in August, down 1 percentage point from July. According to the director of the Fall River Career Center, Joe Viena, more people are being employed now than ever before in the city, partly because of the massive hiring of Amazon workers over the last year.
We also have a lot of great job openings for people that, of course, people can take advantage of. And basically, I just want to always take an opportunity to encourage people to come down to the Career Center if you're looking for work.
Because there are training sessions, and why don't you talk about those?
Yes, we have training sessions for people who are interested in vocational skills training, if they're interested in going to school, if they're interested in changing careers, if they're interested in maybe taking advantage of what's possibly out there for me. We have these assessment tools that are phenomenal because they take into consideration what you've done, what you want to do, and then tie it to existing jobs, so that you can get an assessment of opportunities that you could apply for right now, or you could identify a number of things that you need to do to get before you apply for that job. We have a job club that I think is phenomenal, and I think that would be a fantastic opportunity for folks. It's a 2-week program every day from 9 to 12. And it takes into account several things. Number 1, motivation. Number 2, learning how to do something that you didn't think of before. Number 3, hey, did you actually do it? We have an action piece. And then the last part is results. How did it go, and what do you need to do? Now, in that environment, there's a lot of professionals that we do see that are part of that group, and they connect and they network. The key thing for folks that are ahead of in that regard, whether it be bachelor's or certainly master's, would be the networking piece.
Catholic schools in the Diocese of Greater Fall River are reaching out to enroll more students in the traditionally underserved Latino population. FRCmedia News caught up with Diocesan School Superintendent Stephen Perla, who provided these details about his administration's outreach efforts.
What that refers to, the University of Notre Dame has a program which is called the Latino Educational Institute, and what they do with LEI is they actually go out and work with schools to help them in a number of areas. One, which is very important, to really understand the Latino culture, so that schools can in fact be welcoming, can make sure that those kids who come to their schools feel very comfortable in the school environment. Secondly, as part of that program, they help with recruitment strategies. So how do you actually outreach to families? How do you let families know that programs exist in your schools, which of course is very important. And lastly, how do you work with the families that are in the schools? So because it's very important that you have folks on staff that can speak the language, it's also very important that you have folks on staff that can in fact advocate for families and understand where they're coming from. So it's really kind of a well-rounded program. They've had the program at the university now for about 7 or 8 years. They've worked with schools across the country, and we're very excited to have 6 of our schools actually participating in the program. And so we look forward to that in October.
We'll have more FRCmedia News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we'd like to introduce you to Phantom and Salem. Phantom and Salem were strays on the street. They approximately 3 months old. They were underweight, but they're catching up fast and coming back up to speed to what they're supposed to be doing. They're finally learning how to play with humans, and Salem has half a milk mustache and Phantom has a full milk mustache. Phantom has a cute little white bib to go with her mustache too. They can go together or apart, it doesn't matter which way. Like most of the cats in the shelter, they were once part of a litter, but now they're not. But these two are not bonded, but they do like each other's company. And they'll be ready to go any day now. Come and see us meet our Phantom and Salem.
Today we have Marine 1. She is a pit bull mix. She's brought in as a stray, and as you can see, she is a little scared at new things, but it just takes her a little bit to warm up. She is 2 years old, and she is spayed. She loves treats and she knows how to sit, and she's good with kids 5 and up. She's extremely energetic when she's very excited, but after she's done getting her energy out, she will definitely calm down and be a lap dog, because all she really wants is cuddles. If you are interested in adopting her or at least meeting her, you should come on down to River Paws Animal Shelter. We're located at 300 Linwood Ave.
A Veteran Services Resource Fair will be held tomorrow, Friday, at Government Center to give eligible clients information about benefits that they may be entitled to. Viewers watching this program on Friday evening should note that while the fair was already taking place, the city's Office of Veteran Services is still offering the same information every weekday.
How does your office help veterans understand what benefits are available to them?
We do an outreach program. We periodically do things such as this. We do radio shows. We do other media such as yours. We go out into the neighborhoods and we let people know. We recruit veterans to come in. We're a very friendly, service-oriented office. And quite frankly, all my tenure in the government here in Fall River, whether it be on the council or in this office, Fall River has really done a lot for veterans in the area. We're the second largest veterans provider in the state, and our outreach programs and our memorial services are second to none.
And how are you funded?
We're funded through the state match program, which benefits 75% reimbursed from the state, 25% from the city. And the city has always been as generous as they could be, even in tough times with the veterans budget. And, you know, we have to thank the elected officials for that because they're the ones who approve our budget.
Now, are there any military service folks who are not eligible?
Your service has to be completed honorably. That is the criteria for that. There are some instances where we've had National Guard and reservists that do not serve more than 6 months, and they went on what they call an accelerated active duty for training only. There's some instances they might not be available for all the benefits. But the other thing that's important to know is that widows and dependents, in most cases, are eligible.
And that's actually very good to know. How many people do you think you service?
We service, our client base right now is about 350 active cases, but when you put the dependents with that, it's well over 500. I believe there's approximately 7,000 veterans in Fall River, and one time or another we touch.
That's all for FRC Media News for this week. For those of you who have followed local media in Fall River, you may have heard of the passing this week of Phil Sabatino. For well over 25 years, Phil served as a videographer for local cable television, first with the cable company, and then for our colleagues at Fall River Government Television and Fall River Educational Television. If there was a meeting or event in Fall River that was covered on local cable television, it's likely Phil was there to film it. He dedicated himself to his craft, and he knew how important local news and events meant to the people of the South Coast. He was a true professional and will be sorely missed.